Okay, so one thing that I'm learning as an individual with struggling with, invisible wounds is um, that my responses change and that, the way certain things manifest change as I learn and grow my telltales. I made a video a while back about having your pre-planned responses, basically already having your response to the precursors that that set you off into your spiral of anxiety and depression, all whatever it is. Um, but as I evolve, the way these things and the way um, my body handles things are they evolve, i.e., I go a long period of time without doing things that I love, and it's great to have pre-planned responses, and I'm not knocking that video because it really is. It's an awesome thing to have, to be able to recognize what it is that's actually happening and being able to respond to it. Just like if there was emergency, automatically to pick up the phone, call 911 or whatever, get help, right? And you are kind of your own emergency sometimes. But you may not know whether it is that you're choking, whether you've been shot, whether you need a tourniquet. We don't know. It comes, these symptoms, they change. And so I guess where I'm going with this is pre-planned responses are crucial, right? At least in my opinion, and that's not a medical opinion, that's a life opinion. I've been dealing with opinion. Um, but what's even more important is knowing when you're falling to pieces, um, and being able to recognize this. So this kind of weird. Somebody left roses on my front porch. I have no idea who it was. It wasn't my spouse. It wasn't my brother. I called to come anyway. But I kind of didn't know what to do with them. They've been sitting on my calendar for the past week, and I was very appreciative of it, obviously. But um, what came to me today is that I'm going to steal one of these roses for whoever did it. I appreciate it. But is that we as mortals are we're like roses, right? Um, there may be some thorns on our stalk that may get clipped at times. People come in and you feel like you can get away from that ruggedness. You don't have to shy out of backing out of doing things. You don't feel like a jerk. Your thorns start to go away, and then they come back. As you as you reblossom, you reemerge with new thorns. But every petal of this rose is like a piece of us, right? So like this piece is my health, right? And I stop paying attention to that a lot of times when uh, when I feel myself going down a path, and then as I spiral into depression and anxiety, my hygiene gets messed up. I know 9 times out of 10, that is a telltale that I'm falling apart. My temper goes haywire, and there's all these other pieces. Work stuff starts getting neglected. Just so many different layers, and then we get smaller and smaller. But what's happening on the inside of us is getting bigger. The layers are just getting bigger and bigger until there's nothing left, right? Until there's none of us, there's nothing left. Um, we have to learn to take care of these petals, to recognize these petals, because if we continue um, to let these bigger outside layers fall, and we get down into like the nitty gritty, to the what makes us who we are, if we lose this is when people decide that life is not living, it's worth living. This is when people decide that um, other people's well-being is not important. I call it, being homicidal versus suicidal. This is where uh, we forget who we are and go down destructive paths because we haven't taken care of those other layers, those other petals, and um, recognizing what those petals are, because you are a rose and you are beautiful. And this thing that you have, I think it's absolutely normal. I think it's what makes you great. And I know that may sound crazy, but some of the most amazing minds in this world suffer from some sort of anxiety and some sort of depression, because it's not normal sometimes to be extraordinary. We're in a very sensitive time where me saying, you know what, I'm good at this, could be someone saying, she's arrogant, son of a gun, or whatever. We're not allowed to truly be who we are. So as a veiled mortal, I just encourage you to really think about yourself as pieces and be very careful of the pieces of yourself that you allow to wither away and die. And be very strategic with the pieces that you allow to wither away and die, because sometimes some of those pieces begin to kind of rot, right? Not rot, we don't know what he calls them, wilt. And you don't want them to spoil the inside. I don't know. I just know I felt myself falling apart over the past couple weeks, and again, my tale is, I know I don't start taking care of my personal care kind of runs away from me. So I encourage you to really think about the pieces of you, not Ashley Simpson. That's all that came to my mind. The pieces of me, but really think about the pieces of you and how you can let some pieces fall without it tearing up the core. Without it tearing up the core, without it tearing up your center, and knowing and establishing your pre-planned responses. Because you are a rose. At least that's what I'm telling myself, that I'm a rose, and I am beautiful, and I sometimes do have to let some thorns go to be a part of the bunch, to be a part of the bushel. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I'm rambling, but that's what I'm thinking about, is falling to pieces. I've been falling to pieces. Have you been falling to pieces? I encourage you to please. I love the conversation that we get when we get to talk about these sorts of things, and I hope that you guys are doing the best that you can with what you have and keeping that GAD score low. Look around. Until next time, this is Lady Wood. Take care of the pieces of you, beautiful girl.